I hate everyone who's not white. I'm racist. I'm a terrible person. I condone everything. I'm a terrible human being.
What the fuck is going on? Make that the intro.
Oh, welcome takeouts to the 2B2T New Friends podcast. Could you please introduce yourself?
I'm takeouts. A lot of people hate me. Some people don't hate me. Been on the server for a while. Yeah, that's pretty much the Spark Notes version, I guess.
Okay, then to add to the Spark Notes, what notable groups of are you a part of?
I would say that previously and somewhat currently, I guess, I'm in the Imperium. Not really active anymore, but definitely an active member. And then also I run my own group. It's called the Teutonic Order. A lot of people have heard of it. A lot of people hate us. Yeah.
Okay. So, before we get started with questions about those groups you're in, I'd like to know what brought you to join 2B.
The Camping Rusher in 2016. I was a little 13-year-old squeaker, and I watched this cool factions YouTuber join the server, and I was like, oh, that looks sick. And then I joined and played, and basically just played vanilla Minecraft for like a year, and then like mid 2017 I started like actually interacting with the community and stuff. And then from like towards the end of 2017 till about now, I've been playing, like involved in the community and stuff.
Okay, and then for that first year where you said you were playing like vanilla, not interacting with anybody, were you still active, or was it just like on and off you joined the server?
Yeah, so I was playing the whole time. I just like wasn't really doing anything notable. I would say like it's very much like I mean, when I first joined, there was a sanctuary, like a Rusher sanctuary at, you know where the 2K trench is now?
Yeah.
There was one that was where that was, or where that is. And I went there. I thought that was cool, and then I got smoked by a bunch of people that showed up, and then I decided that spawn wasn't great, so then I left and built like a little castle on some random island and pretty much just hung out there forever. And then after that I came back to spawn when I had gear or whatever, and the rest is history, I guess.
Okay, so it's like as starting out you were just a new player building your own little base.
Yeah, I feel like that's how everyone is, but yeah.
Yeah, and then what made you change how you were playing? Like, what had you leaving that base in that playstyle?
I think mainly curiosity, and then also because my little brother is a player as well. Beep Beep Not a Jeep is my IRL little brother. And when he joined, like a year after I joined, I had to go get him from spawn, and that was the first time I'd been back to spawn since I joined. And I think I was in like Protection 2 armor with like crapples and like a shield, and I had to go pick him up from spawn, and that was the scariest thing ever. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And after I brought him back.
So are you saying that for this entire year where you were playing vanilla, you never found anything to use? You were actually playing full vanilla?
Oh, 100%. I wasn't even attempting to look for anything. I was just building, dude. I was like building and grinding out my gear and stuff. And I was playing, I think I was using, there used to be a client called Xdolf client. And I was using that. And then I was also using Worst. Okay. And then, yeah, I was mining and stuff and building a little castle. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't really do much.
All of those clients that are dead now. Well, right. What did you do that set off the transition? Not just like you going to spawn, but what made the transition work? Like, how did you change how you played to like get better at the game?
So I think what initially sparked my curiosity was, again, going back, but then like later there was so when the French players joined, that was like a really big deal because that was like the second largest like invasion of new players since Rusher. And I
Yeah.
felt like I was like, you know, a cool, experienced player, even though I wasn't. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna go back to spawn and kill these guys. And then I bumped into this player named Gambino, and nobody really knows who he is anymore. But he used to associate with Jared and like those other people, and he had this group called the Teutonic Crusade, or the Crusade, and I joined it, and we ended up helping the French players, and then after that it kind of died out and the group kind of died. I think that was towards the middle of 2018, something around that. And then from there I've kind of been glued to spawn because I got stuff from Gambino, and we were one of the original people that leaked Unbreakables like to the public, and they used to have gold chest plates instead of diamond ones. That was a fun fact. But yeah, just like I figured out that spawn wasn't so bad, and there's kind of like a drawing to it, even though it's the most horrid place ever, and everyone talks about how bad 2v2t spawn is. I think there's like a whole community in and of itself within 0-0, but yeah.
Okay, with you talking about Gambino, when I was doing research for the podcast, I found the wiki page on, I think on the wiki it says it's called Gambino's Crusade.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's
but how did you actually meet him? Like, how did you get that connection?
On the highway. I bumped into him, and he saw me, and I was a little, you know, new player, I guess, still, and I was kind of just sad looking, I guess, and he took pity on me and invited me.
That's a very sweet story. Was there anybody else notable that you met before Gambino, or was that the first connection you
I think
made?
Gambino was the first really relevant player. I mean, I interacted with a couple spawn PvPers that aren't like super well known anymore. I know I saw Kill It a bunch. I saw City Boss 1, a couple of those guys, but I didn't really interact with them in any, you know, meaningful manner. It was kind of just like they killed me and I cried about it, and then yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely do the same thing, but I never go to spawn except for this. But with the Crusade, what time was that happening, since I don't have a good knowledge on that event?
I think it was from around June of 2018 to late 2018, and then the group ended up dying out because Gambino's Discord got termed, and he didn't have another account that owned the Discord, so he was kind of just like screwed, and him making a new Discord didn't do anything because nobody wanted to join it. And that was kind of just the end of it. But I mean, he's always been known as like kind of an unstable guy. Like, he constantly changed what we were doing in the group, and like it wasn't really the most, like, we didn't know exactly what we believed in because it was changing so often. So the group kind of just died out, and then the final nail in the coffin was his Discord getting termed.
Okay, and with the group having a sort of unorganized feel, what do you think your goals with that group were?
Honestly, I think it was mostly just getting involved in the community and meeting people and making friends and stuff, because I didn't really have any on the server at the time. But I really enjoyed the events that we did have, and I thought it was fun hanging out with a bunch of players and stuff. I know we were fighting when they were making the wall around 2K2K. We were fighting that, and I think that was I forget who was doing that, but we were fighting them creating that, because we were like trying to help new players, and then we were killing new players, and it was just really back and forth. But I had a lot of fun just doing the meaningless events that we did.
Okay, then, like you said, was there really no purpose in the events as a whole? They were just kind of for fun?
I mean, they were supposed to have, you know, meaning. Like, they were very ambitious. I think they were too ambitious. Like, I think we would have like 4 of us try and go fight like 15 people to try and stop the wall from being created. And we'd obviously lose. We just annoy them a little bit, and that was just fun, because like watching your friends get attacked and everyone running away and screaming in voice chat's really fun. But yeah.
Okay. Moving on from the Crusade, I know that after the Crusade, you started the Teutonic Order. How did that group come about? Since obviously it has the word Teutonic in it, which was the same thing as the Crusade, basically.
Yeah, so I never really lost contact with Gambino. We just kind of just like dwindled, like, didn't talk as much, still talked a little bit. And I was really bored on the server just building and stuff because I didn't really have a group to join or whatever. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bring this group back. And I asked Gambino if he'd bring it back, and he said no. So I was like, all right, well, you care if I make it? And he was like, no, go for it. So I did it. I tried to make it as similar as possible without being inconsistent in like what we believed in. So initially it was the Taiwanese joining, which caused me to create the group, and we were leaking their chords on our Discord.
Okay, quick question. What time was that in?
That was June, July-ish of 2019.
Okay.
And we were leaking their chords on our Discord, and that got people to join our Discord because they wanted to obviously go grief. And then we had a lot of troubles that most new groups have with like people trying to inside and things like that. And we kind of started off slow. I think we kind of worked our way up, and then me joining the Imperium was kind of a hindrance, I guess, to our group because I wasn't really primarily focused on it. I was kind of more focused on Imperium. But then with Imperium being in an active state right now, I have like all the free time in the world to deal with only my group, so it's been prospering.
Okay, and then when that was happening, who were some of the notable people besides yourself that were part of the Teutonic Order?
Early on?
Yep, early on.
So there was a kid named Toxic Nay. We had 6WJ. We had my brother, obviously. We had, thinking of people that would even make sense mentioning. There used to be a kid named Finn Fry. Everyone hated him. He was like the most universally hated person in the community, and he was in our Discord all the time.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. It was really just a bunch of like no-namers, I feel like. It was mostly just like a small group of friends, and we were trying to like, grow it, but...
Okay. So you were trying to break out of that, like, mindset of being, oh, we're just a group of friends, or was that the goal of the group?
I mean, not necessarily break out of it, because I don't like having an actual hierarchical, like, running group. I don't like thinking that I'm better than any one person, but I like having, like, order in my group, so I wanted a group of friends. I want the group to stay a group of friends, and, like, have it the ranks entirely based off of how much we trust them. So my group now is the same, like I'm running it the same way I would have wanted to in 2019. It's a big group of friends. We love hanging out together.
Okay, then are there any other notable parts of just like the general vibe of that group?
So we had a lot of, initially, when the Infinity Incursion started, it was a group consisting of other groups. So I don't know if you're familiar with UGE, the United Group Embassy. So it was basically just a collection of groups that like the leaders interacted, and they were allied, and like they were doing things together. II initially started out like that, and we were a part of it. So us and a couple other groups, as well as Baki, were just doing things together and like building bases and doing things at spawn. And then Baki, I guess, changed it and decided that that's not what he wanted to do. And we ended up leaving that, and then we started fighting the Infinity Incursion, which was fun. A lot of fond memories of all of us like sorting them when they were making the water cube and stuff. It's really just, thinking about it now, I hadn't really made the connection, but we've mirrored a lot of things that the original Crusade has done in regards to like sending 6 to 8 people towards like 40 and fighting and just having fun and like laughing about it. And there's my brother on the right there, just dropped down here. That's my IRL little brother right there.
That's fun.
I don't know how he found us. I didn't give him cords.
Okay, I was gonna say if he wants to join the call, we could have somebody drag him in.
Let me ask him.
It's like we could do a double interview if you want. I think this is the most people that we've had at a podcast.
It's picking up.
Yep.
Alright, he's probably gonna join.
Just trying to make this one more official. Fly, can you drag him since
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am a loser who only has one monitor and I am in
Wow.
full
Yeah,
screen
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
What a loser. Yeah, I'll drag him.
I think he's in VC.
Yeah. And here he is.
What's up?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
Well,
What up?
Mr.
I'm
Beep
on my
Beep,
friend.
you can sit somewhere next to
Yeah, you can stand below
takeouts
me.
if you want.
Yeah, stand right there. Yeah.
That's
Okay. Well, that's fun that we have a new person to ask questions to, but takeouts. I wanted to ask, what are the biggest things that your group has done on the server? What do you think is their greatest achievement?
I would say probably just against all odds, like surviving, because our group was very close to dying out. I think we were dormant for about a year, and we ended up coming back, and now we're one of the bigger groups on the server now.
Oh, dang
And
it, I got
Stapo just
disconnected.
logged out,
Uh-oh.
and I can stop talking if you want.
No, you can keep talking. This
Okay,
happens every single time. bro.
And also, we have completely revived Spawn on 2B. I don't think the PvP scene has been this active since 2020.
Yeah.
Beep, do you think the water cube, us doing the like fighting II in the water cube, is another one?
Yeah, that was fun.
And then also, do you remember we made that giant cross inside the water cube in 2019? Beep.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
We made like a giant cross from like bottom build limit to top build limit in the dead center of 0-0 overworld. We posted it on the Reddit and everyone was hating on us because we were saying 2B2T is a Christian server.
That was like the first thing that we did.
Yeah, that was the first thing we did to like really get our name out. And we've kind of just been more focusing on getting our numbers back at the moment. But
Okay.
once we have our numbers back now and we're planning some big stuff, so I guess you'll see that soon.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you are planning some big stuff. With the group being, as you said, inactive for like almost a year, what caused that inactivity?
I would say mainly school, just because I was in high school and I really needed to focus on, you know, grades and stuff that actually mattered. I feel like, as much as I enjoy 2B, it's more of like I mentally clock out for a couple hours and just play and hang out and do whatever I want for a little while, and it wasn't like a necessary thing to me. Obviously because it's a block game, but I kind of just lost interest, I guess, as well with like other games and playing with my friends and stuff. And then I guess just regaining the ability to play with a lot of spare time now. I guess it's kind of what motivated me to bring it back.
Okay, so with that being said, were you the like piece of glue that was tying the whole group together? And is that why it would die without you, or what?
I would say at the time, yes. I think the voice chats only got up to like 5 people when I was in voice chat, and when I wasn't in voice chat, there was never a voice chat. But now I would say no, because regardless of whether I'm on or not, all of my members are in voice chat playing and talking and hanging out and stuff, because again, we've like succeeded in making a giant group of friends into an actual 2B group, which I think why we're so sturdy.
Okay. And then do you attribute a lot of this success that you have right now to what you've done with the group, or do you think it was mostly a team effort? Like, how much do you attribute to yourself?
I would say now, with us reviving, it was definitely a team effort. We needed most of our original members to come back, and advertise and recruit people they were friends with when they were playing and I wasn't, and things like that. But initially it was mainly me and my brother, so now it's us and many more people, and I've gotten disconnected and I will be reconnecting.
That is
That keeps
very
happening.
sad.
Standing still too long, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened
The
to me.
problem with me is that I'm the one that has to keep the perfect camera angle, so it always messes it up. But then also I went around and loaded all of the chunks, so now it's gonna look weird when they disappear halfway through.
Right.
But
I'm 1 in queue.
who do you think is the most important member of the Teutonic Order besides yourself? Like the person that helps with the group the most?
I would say it's probably Beep and Pedro, XCC7. Just because they've both been there. Obviously, Beep's been there because I can, at least when I was in high school, I could just go upstairs and fucking smack him on the back of the head and make him get on. But now, I mean, I'm in college. I don't live at home anymore, so it's just like I can, text him and have him get on, and he'll do stuff with the group as well if I'm not able to get on. And the same with Pedro. Like I have all their IRL stuff, so I can Snapchat them, text them, or whatever, and get them to do stuff. And they'll keep the group together if I'm not around. But yeah.
Okay, with you talking about having the the IRL contacts, I'd like to know, how do you feel about the connection between meeting people on 2B and then getting to know them in real life? Maybe not meeting them in person, but just branching outside of just on the server.
I would say that there's a couple people on 2B that are I've exchanged IRL information with and stuff, and we have each other's phone numbers and talk all the time and stuff. I would say I wouldn't have an issue meeting up with them. Like Beep, if Sirach came, we'd hang out with him. Yeah. There's some people that we would. Right. There's some people that we would definitely hang out with, and there's some people that we probably wouldn't. But I don't know if I would go to the point of. I don't know if anyone's heard about the IHOP incident. I don't know if I'd do that.
I don't think we need to bring that up in this Christian family friendly interview.
Yeah, I don't think I would go that far, but obviously, I mean, I wouldn't mind hanging out with some of these guys. But yeah.
Okay. Quick question: does anybody on the couch have questions that they want to ask before I continue the interview? Because I need some time to stall.
I got a question real quick.
You.
So, does I know you don't live with Beep anymore, but does it help you guys kind of stay connected as family, stay in touch with each other, just playing 2B?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the most. I think this is the only thing we play together, really. And then this is the most interaction we get, really. I mean, I obviously drive to go visit him, but it's he lives an hour and a half away. So it's not like I can just at the drop of a hat go drive over there. So really when I'm not there, this is what we're doing to hang out and stuff.
Okay. And how do you think your relationship between you guys has changed as you've been playing 2B, since I know you've been playing it together for such a long time? Has that changed anything?
I think if anything, it makes it more meaningful because it's not like we can just turn off the computers and go do stuff. It's turn off the computer and then we're not hanging out anymore, so it makes us want to do it more. I mean,
Okay.
You think so, Beep?
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
Okay, well, those were most of the questions I had about the groups you were in. So I'm going to transition into talking more about how you view 2B as a whole. So the first important question is, since you joined all the way back during the Russia War, what do you think is the biggest difference between that 2B and then the 2B we have right now?
I would say, I mean, obviously, shulkers and totems and those things weren't around back then. It was like shields and swords were the main thing. I mean, you could crystal, but nobody really did. I mean, those are just item things. It's not like that big of a difference, I feel like, but it definitely had a different feel to it. Like, it felt more of like when you're hanging out. I know I had a lot of friends that were like PvPing during that time, and they would say it felt more like factions, just because it was sword PvP still, and it was more like, I guess, grindy, because you had to like mend your sets and stuff, and you'd use like, I know people that would have like XP grinders and stuff and things like that, and like underground like basic starter faction bases type stuff. I think it was more rewarding to do things like get kills and stuff, because you couldn't just pull out another shulker and like have all your stuff. You'd have like 3 sets in your e-chest and that'd be it, and you had to like make that work. But I think it's gotten less dopamine rewarding, I guess, but it's still, you know, fun.
Okay. And then, with that being said, what do you think is the worst change that has gone through between those 2 times?
I think just how the community has kind of changed from like, I feel like it's changed from being more like individually oriented to like everyone has to have people with you or else you're a nobody. Like, you have to have a name to like be anyone, it feels like now. And back then everyone would just like play to be able to be a player and like be called a player. But now it's like, if you like are spawn PvPing, you're getting doxxed and swatted and all this terrible stuff. And I feel like it wasn't that deep back then. I feel like no one really cared. I mean, obviously there are like the few outliers, but I feel like it wasn't anywhere near the degree that it's at now.
Okay. Could you, since you're talking about that, could you tell us a little bit about the experiences you've had or people close to you have had where you feel like it's gone too far?
I think I don't.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I mean, you can tell them about my experience. I don't really care.
Yeah, because one of our friends that we were friends with for 5 years, I'm not gonna name him because he's a former friend and he's kind of an attention whore. He was with us in the Imperium and big name PvPer back in the day. Probably infer if anyone knows anything about PvPers. And he pretty much snaked me and my brother because my brother had let him use his account for a couple months when our group was dormant. Nobody was playing. And the email that his account was on is a fake name, but it looks very real. And no one else had that name. And then a couple months later, we figured out that the people that we were fighting at spawn had that name, which again isn't a real name, but they were using it in our Discord and like dropping it and trying to intimidate us and trying to get my information through my brother. Which I think is absolutely ridiculous considering this is a game full of cubes and it's a building game, and I don't think it should ever go that far. But yeah.
Okay. And then, how did you handle situations like that one, where it gets a little bit more serious than just being a block game?
I feel like you have to like make the separation and be like, okay, this is actually a block game. It doesn't matter. It's not real. Like, just laugh at them, make them feel stupid. Make them very well known that it's a fake name and they're trying to do nothing with a lot. Like, they're trying to do a lot with nothing. And just make them feel dumb until they stop, pretty much. But yeah, at least that's how we handled it.
That sounds like a very interesting encounter. With the interview going a little bit more serious, I'd like to know, what do you think is the biggest change that you've made personally to just like your personality based on your experiences on 2B?
I think the amount of things that I've seen, like people post, like in Discord or in game, like links to like, videos and stuff in chat, especially back when chat wasn't as moderated as it is now, because I feel like you can't really say everything now. but a couple years ago you could. And I know I've seen some like videos or GIFs that like have really like messed with me and like kind of desensitized me to that stuff. I think how every like teenager has like their little like live leak phase or whatever, at least I feel like most teenagers do, a little edgy phase. I feel like that kind of accelerated it and just kind of got me to that point where I don't really like, this stuff doesn't really bother me anymore. And I think that's kind of sad that that was caused by a Minecraft server.
Yeah, that definitely is something that is a good argument against playing 2B. But with that said, now that you've given a lot of pros and cons as to things that have happened to you on 2B, do you think that it was worth it playing this much on the server? Since from what you've told me, it seems like you never really went that inactive.
I mean, the longest break I've taken from the server was from mid 2021 or early to mid 2021 till about 2 months ago, which is, I guess, a considerable break considering like when I joined back, I didn't really know anyone. There wasn't a whole lot of names that I recognized. But I mean, I would say that overall it was definitely a positive experience because the pros I've had on the server and the people I've met and the things I've done, experiences I've had have definitely outweighed the cons of, you know, just dealing with overall horrible people that I think are probably a little off in the head and could probably end up on the news one day. But yeah, I would say it's overall a positive experience. You definitely get to see all sides of every person though. You see every single personality.
Okay, and then do you think it's a good way to just like learn how to interact with people? Just being on the server for that long, it teaches you anything?
I guess. I don't think it has really like helped anyone with their social skills, if that's where you're going with it. I feel like people are way too comfortable saying things online, and they wouldn't say it in person. And also like sending horrific things also, like, it doesn't make you cool in real life. But I mean, I guess interacting with, you know, several thousand people over the span of several years, I feel like that kind of, you know, at least opens your eyes a little bit to how people act and how different people are actually.
Okay. I was gonna say, I like to bring that question up because with a lot of the like most quote unquote to be famous people that always get interviewed on the bigger podcasts, they always say something about like how they get social skills and other stuff, but I like to hear how other people think about that. Since
so some people do say that it helps
like
with social
minority.
skills. You said some people say it does help?
Yeah. Especially people, like I said, that have been on like the large podcast, been in all of the FitMC videos. It's like they always have something bigger to say about 2B. Do you think that there really is something like big and important about the server as a whole, or do you think that it's all just for fun?
I would say it's definitely more than like, I'm not going to say it's more than a Minecraft server because that sounds really, you know, cringy, but
yeah,
I mean, I would say there's no other server in this game that has drawn me back this many times, and I've never put this much time into a Minecraft server except for this one. So there's definitely something different about it, and I think that it's definitely interesting, at least. I think it's definitely special and unique. I don't think there's any other server like it except for the clone servers, but that's a whole nother topic. Even the clone servers, though, they don't have the same community, but yeah, I would say it's definitely different, definitely special.
Okay. And then we'll probably start wrapping up soon. So do you have anything to say to anybody that may be looking into wanting to start playing on the server?
Anyone that's hasn't joined yet, I would say just do it. There's no harm in doing it. People make the server seem a lot more dangerous than it is. It is dangerous if people hate you. I guess don't let yourself be hated. Don't do anything stupid. Don't download things from random people. If you're gonna join, I would recommend just having the unique, you know, every individual has their own experience. Do your own thing. whatever you feel like doing, go ahead and do it. There's no reason to not do it. You know, like you only get one chance at life, and you might as well do everything you want to. And if that's one of the things you want to do, I say go for it.
Okay, those are very wise words. Beep, do you have just anything you want to say in general, since you showed up and I don't really know what to ask you, since I've probably already asked takeouts? Just
I
anything?
agree with what takeouts said.
Okay.
Just try it. Like, the experiences with friends on here is so much better than pretty much anything else I've played.
Okay. And then, this is a question for both of you, but how close do you think 2B and, like, how you use it is compared to real life? Especially since with most games, there's, like, a very obvious separation, but I personally feel like it's a bit more lenient when it comes to 2B. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like, I mean, definitely, I feel like I'm more susceptible to making long-term friendships on this server than I would be like, I don't know, Rust or CSGO. Like, none of those games really kind of offer you the opportunity like 2B does, or any other Minecraft server for that example. For that, I guess, yeah, for an example.
Okay. And Beef just got disconnected. This is very sad. Okay, well, anybody on the couch have anything they want to ask before we end the podcast?
I got a question for takeouts, and for Beep for that matter. So like joining, 2016, you're kind of like in that middle period where, you played when, old guys played, when the Rusher guys played. When the early fit guys started joining in 2019, and now when it's like the later fit guys.
Yeah.
How would you compare like the different groups, like their personalities, how they act, like periodically, just being in the middle of them all?
I would say generally the Rusher players were very undereducated and didn't really know what they were doing. Some did, most didn't. With the fit players, the people that joined because of fit, I think they were initially very uneducated, and now they just kind of look at fit as this like idol that like is all-knowing, which I feel like that's not really the case, considering he's very disconnected from the community and he gets most of his information from players that actually play in the community. Again, he probably plays once a month, like just to make some money, I guess. Not dissing him because everyone needs money, I guess, but and then with the French players, I have no idea because they didn't speak English. Same with the Taiwanese players, no clue. I'd say the old players were very nice to talk to. Every interaction I've had with an old player has been very like productive and not toxic. I'd say some are definitely toxic. I definitely had some negative interactions with Jared 2013 over the years, but I think generally they all act very differently, but now it's kind of merged into this big mixing bowl of, ideas and things like that. And I think everyone kind of acts about the same, aside from a few players.
I see.
Okay. Any other questions?
Not a question, but a gift. Take an alpha slap. Just hope you enjoy it, I guess.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful gift.
Beep,
Sorry,
anything? Yeah, I have a couple, don't worry.
I have one more.
Do you think, Beep, would you say about the same with the community, I guess? Like, I think the players have definitely gotten less annoying and uneducated, but I would say generally the community is very different in its own regard, but things still kind of stay the same.
Okay. Well, with that out of the way, does vape pens eat ass?
I guess so, yeah. Vape pens does yes.
Put chords in chat. I want to see people pull up.
Yeah. Put chords in chat.
Yeah. Put chords in chat. Oh God. Oh